Hello students, this is your physics teacher Shilpi Singh, and today we are going to start with chapter number 2, which is physical quantities and its measurement. So first of all, today we will be having a discussion over density and how it is measured. A rough idea about density you people are already having. In class 7th we had a very small topic in your book, but this year now we are going to study this topic in detail. So first of all, let's try to understand this term density with the help of an investigation given in your book numbered 1.1. In that, what is given? I am having 4 identical cubes. Every cube is having the size of 1 centimeter side. That means its one side is 1 centimeter, and because it is a cube, so obviously the length, the breadth, the height, everything is of 1 centimeter. So its volume is 1 centimeter cube. The next one is also of the same size, the next one also of the same size, and the last one also of the same size. Size are same, volume is also same, but the material is different. One box that I am having is of iron, the other one of zinc, the next one of aluminium, and the last one is of wood. So what are we noticing over here? Although I have taken the size same of all the cubes, but when I am going to measure its weight, the weight is going to come different for all of them. The first one is measuring 7.6 grams, the next one is measuring 4.2 grams, the next one 2.7 grams, and the last one is measuring just 0.8 grams. Now the question arises that when the size were same, then why these weights are coming different? So the answer behind that is your density. Density is actually how the molecules are packed inside that substance. Now, among all these 4 substances, I can easily say that iron must be having in its 1 centimeter cube the highest number of molecules very tightly packed to each other. And in the case of wood, since it was weighing the least, that means in that same size of box, the molecules, they were not that tightly packed, and the number of molecules were little lesser than the case of iron. So here the role which is majorly played by the quantity is your density. That means iron is denser than all these 3 substances. Zinc is denser than these 2, but not dense than iron. Aluminium is denser than wood, but not dense than iron and zinc. So what are we concluding from here? That density is how thickly the things are packed with each other. You must have read in your geography the 2 terms sparsely populated and densely populated when you are studying about an area. Like our country, India, it is having few states which are densely populated. Let's take the example of our own state. UP is densely populated, whereas the state of Rajasthan, although they are near about in the same area, they both have almost the same area, but still the number of people who are staying in Rajasthan are less than Uttar Pradesh. So what I can say if I am comparing both of them? Almost having the same area, UP is densely populated, that means more number of people are accommodating, and Rajasthan is sparsely populated. I hope the word density is clear to you all. Now, let's move on to the formula. In physics, whenever we are talking about any quantity, we always have a formula so that we can measure it. The formula for density is mass upon volume. This is the formula for density. Now, once you know the formula, let's make the definition on our own. In physics, this is the best part. Once you know the formula, you can create the definition also on your own. You can create the unit also. Let's see the formula now. See the definition. The quantity which is written down, that means in the denominator, that will come after the word per, P-E-R, which actually means divide. So how to represent density? Density is mass per unit volume. Density is mass per unit volume. That's it. These 4 words comprise the definition for density. As simple as that. Even you can see in the other cases also. If suppose you want to make other definitions, like suppose I want to make the definition for speed. Speed formula is distance upon time. So how can I make? Distance per unit time is called speed. So this is how you can make the definitions in physics. Now, since we know now the definition of density, that means we are talking about 2 things when we talk about density. One is mass and the other one is volume. So let's talk about now the unit also. Density formula is mass upon volume. Unit of mass is kg. Volume, we already know in maths, it is meter cube. So what is its unit? Kg per meter cube. And why this per sign is there? Because volume was in denominator. So this is its unit, the standard unit which is accepted worldwide. Kg per meter cube. Or it can also be measured in CGS system also, the one which is measured in smaller units. Like the mass can come in grams also, and volume can be measured in centimeter cube also. So the other unit can become gram per centimeter cube. Now see, there are so many ways of writing this thing. Gram per centimeter cube, or gram upon centimeter cube, or gram centimeter raised to the power -3. Actually all these 3 things are same. Okay, so once you are coming across any question, don't get confused that ma'am has taught with a per sign but here something else is coming. Actually beta, these all things are same, so no need to get confused. Okay, and why this -3 is there? Once you will read your exponents chapter in maths, you'll become very clear with this. So again I am reminding, just a sum up for this topic. For density, what do we need? We need mass and volume. So now let's take one example. If suppose I have to calculate the density of solid, I have been given one solid substance and I want to measure its density. Okay, and what I have been given? I have been given a measuring cylinder. I hope you know what a measuring cylinder is. It's a simple plastic tube generally present in your chemistry lab, and it is graduated. That means some marks are there over it. Okay, and you can actually see also that how much of the quantity of the liquid you are actually containing in that. So what are we calculating? Our target is to calculate the density. For density, I need 2 things. I need mass and volume. When I will divide both these quantities, I will get the density. So let's first of all cover this thing, mass. How to calculate the mass of a solid? Very easy. Just use a physical balance, or in simple words we call it tarazu also. Very easy. Just need a physical balance. Keep your solid box over there and you can calculate the mass. Suppose it is coming, let's take one example, that the mass was coming 100 grams. Now I need volume also. How to calculate that? What I'll do, I'll take a measuring cylinder and I am going to fill the water up to a certain level. Suppose I have filled the water in this measuring cylinder up to 100 ml. Now once I am going to tie my solid substance and dip it inside this measuring cylinder, the level is obviously going to rise, you know that. So now I am going to see that till what level the water has risen. It is coming till 130 ml. Can you please tell me how much of the change has come? The initial level was 100 ml. Now after dipping the solid substance, the level has gone to 130 ml. How much change has come? 30 ml. That means that was the volume of this solid cube. So volume is 130 minus 100, which is 30 ml. Now you write it ml or you write it 30 centimeter cube, it means the same. Now you know mass, you know volume. How easy it is to calculate the density now. Formula is mass upon volume. So 100 upon 30, which is 10 upon 3. And the units will be gram per centimeter cube, or you can also write it in points, your choice. And it is as simple as that. Now the next topic is that if you are given a solid substance but that is little irregular in shape, suppose if they have given you a stone, procedure is going to remain same. What do we have to calculate? Its density. So for density, what do we need? Its mass and volume. Mass, I told you just now how you have to calculate. Keep it in a measuring balance and measure the mass. Okay. Now let's talk about the volume. For that volume, now this time what I have taken a Eureka can. What is this Eureka can? It's a simple can which is having its one end open. That means the maximum water that it can contain is up till this level. If the level is going to rise of the water, it is obviously going to come out from the spout over here. And then near its mouth, I have kept one more cylinder which is graduated. Graduated means it can tell us the amount. Now, what I am going to do? Mass already calculated. So for volume, what I am going to do? I am going to tie this stone with the help of the thread and till where the water was present up to this point. Now as soon as I am going to dip this stone inside this, the level will rise. But since the water is not having the space to rise, so it is going to flow out of this can and it will be collected in the next can which I have placed over here. So the water will be collected at this point. Now since I can measure the quantity from here also, how much of the water has been collected over here, that is the volume of the stone. Suppose the water has come till 10 ml, that means 10 ml was the volume of the stone. So mass I know, volume I have calculated from here. I will divide both of the things and I'll get the density. That's it. Now comes the question that if suppose you are given the liquids, then what do you have to do? Obviously I can't hold a liquid with the help of a thread and I cannot like dip it inside. Both the liquids are going to mix in each other. So how to calculate it? Now for that we are having a special device which is known as your density bottle. Okay. Now for liquids, what do we have? The density bottle. Let me first explain you its structure. It's a simple glass transparent tube which is flattened from its base, and from here it looks like a round bottom flask and it is having a long neck. Its long neck is covered with the help of a stopper which is of cork, and there is a very fine tube like structure over here. Now what is that role of the tube? I'll tell you just now. Now I told you that if you want to calculate the density of any liquid, then we are going to use this density bottle. It is generally available in two sizes. One is 50 ml and the other one is of 100 ml. Okay. So we have taken that tube which is given in your textbook, which is 50 ml size. That means if I am going to pour any liquid in this tube, it can only take 50 ml, not more than that. If you are going to pour extra, the opening which was here, it is going to leak out the excess of water through this opening, this capillary tube which is here. It's a very fine tube over here. So if suppose by mistake you have poured extra liquid, it will come out from this. Now what is the target? To measure the density. For density, what do I need? Mass and volume. Let's target the mass first. So what I'm going to do, first of all I am going to keep this empty bottle and it should be completely dry, and I am going to measure the empty bottle mass. Okay, let's take that the empty bottle was measuring 50 grams. Let's take one example of this. Okay, then I poured the liquid, whichever density I want to measure, I'm going to place it inside. The excess of the liquid will come out of the capillary tube. I'll make it completely dry, and then again I'm going to put it in the physical balance. Then I have got the weight of bottle plus liquid. Suppose it was coming 80 grams. Now how much was the mass of the liquid was there? Empty bottle is weighing 50 grams. Bottle plus liquid is weighing 80 grams. So how much is the mass of the liquid? 80 minus 50, which is 30 grams. Volume I already know. When the size of the bottle is 50 ml, that means more than 50 ml quantity it cannot hold. So that means volume